So Bitcoin's dominance have these altcoins looking like this right now, a whole sea of red. Now, some people might be extremely frustrated because they want altcoin season 2 finally begin. But for those that's been in the space long enough, you know that this is a good thing because you get to continue to add to your position and the explosion on these altcoins are going to be that much greater. If we take a look at the dominance, we see that Bitcoin is actually sitting at 57% dominance, right? Not too long ago, this thing was sitting at 61%. It crashed down to 54%. And then what happened? The altcoin season looked like it had started. These altcoins started to really pump up and things was looking pretty darn great. But all of a sudden, Bitcoin dominance started to go back up. Bitcoin's making new all-time highs, sitting at like 108,000. And all of a sudden, things aren't looking all that great. But guess what? This thing is only temporary. Because if we go back to previous years, in the last cycle, it was the same thing. Dominance goes up, it goes down, altcoin season explodes. So right now, this is not the time to be frustrated because altcoin season is coming. Now, the only way that I can see Bitcoin dominance continue to skyrocket like this is if MicroStrategy just have access to unlimited funds. Because we could see here that MicroStrategy acquires 15,350 Bitcoin, and this was on December 16th, right? But don't worry, altcoin season is coming, and there will be no need to be chasing coins like this. This is the XRP chart where it went from 50 cents all the way up to $2.90. Right now, we should be looking at opportunities, the best opportunities. Focus on the risk versus reward, and don't be chasing massive green candles because it is unnecessary. In altcoin season, all these altcoins are going to pump. I've mentioned in previous videos, it just depends on which ones are going to be pumping the most. Getting in the right coins is a difference between making a 2x, a 20x, or maybe even potentially more. So in this video, I want to talk about some coins that I think has some serious potential and can make you some really nice gains this altcoin season, more than a 2x in my personal opinion. But of course, remember, nothing in this video is financial advice. So even though I'm going to recommend some coins, make sure you do your own research because I can always be wrong. So I'm going to be talking about 3 different altcoins here. So make sure you guys watch the video all the way through because you definitely don't want to miss anything. But the first one that I'm going to be talking about is PNG, so Pangolin. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this one is because it's a multi-chain DEX on the Avalanche network. And we can see that it's backed by some real world-class partners like Coinbase, for example. This is probably the most notable one. You see Thorchain, you see a whole ton of valuable partners here, right? Now, one reason why I like this one, and by the way, I do own this one, but I also think that where the price is currently sitting at is still a good buy point, and I'll explain why. See, on days like this, where the market is red, we have to look at the coins that's showing some strength. And if we take a look at this one right here, this is actually showing some strength because it's up like over 2% on the day. Now, of course, 2% isn't anything to be like bragging about or anything like that. But when most of the coins are red, then yes, it is something to really take notice of because that shows you that there is definitely attention on this coin. Now, take a look at this. So PNG, what we notice is it seems to have a floor, okay? So the floor is around 21 cents. And the reason why I know this is because back in August, it was sitting at like 21 cents. Unlike a lot of these other coins where they start to actually rally since the beginning of September, and they've gone on a massive rally, most of them more so like November, but a lot of other coins, they were rallying since September. Okay, now PNG hasn't really rallied yet. It's actually just in its first leg. And that is what is beautiful right now. It is consolidating in its first leg up, which means there is lots of room left to run because it went from 21 cents all the way up to about 45 cents. It pulled back to 37 cents where it's sitting at right now. And considering that it's just in its first leg up, this is just the beginning for this project. And again, it all comes down to risk versus reward. If the market was to completely tank, we know that 21 cents is a floor And this is where we can expect to scoop up a lot of P&G if we've done our research and we believe in this project right here. So this is the first one that I wanted to talk about, because you're not going to be chasing the bull on this one. The bull run hasn't started for this one, and we can't say that about a lot of the other altcoins. So this is why this one needs to be paid attention to, in my personal opinion. Now, before I continue, I am showing you guys coins where I think they are at pretty decent buy points. So if we get later or further on into the bull run and you guys ask me if it's too late to buy in, the answer is going to be yes. Just keep that in mind. Now, actually, before I get into the next one, for anyone that's looking for a great crypto exchange, if you trade using leverage, make sure you check out my link to BTCC down below. You get 10% bonus on first-time deposits, extra bonuses of up to $10,000. And you get to use up to 500x leverage. You're going to find a link to my Patreon down below, as well as you'll also find a link to a great trading indicator, which is called Trade Assist. But let's get into the next one here. Now, this next one I think is extremely undervalued. I think that there's not enough eyes on it yet, which means I think that the potential for returns is still pretty up there. Now, the last one, which I spoke about, which was P&G, the market cap is very low on that one. I think the market cap is somewhere around 80 million, so it's got lots of room to run. This one is more so up there, which I'll show in just a little bit, but I'm going to be talking about Aethir here. Now, Aethir is a deep in play for anyone that likes deep in. I think this is a great deep in play. You can go on the website and you can read all about it. Aethir's distributed cloud compute infrastructure. Like, it's just a pretty solid project. And if you go over to their Twitter account, we actually noticed that they've got 848,000 followers, which is great. But what's more interesting is the fact that Render Network follows them. And we all know that Render is extremely big. People are extremely bullish on Render. And once Render really explodes, people are going to be looking for the next big thing. And I think that Aethir has the potential to be the next big thing. Now, another reason why I like this one, again, it all comes down to the risk versus reward. And if we take a look at the risk versus reward, we can see that it's clearly got a bottom at 0.044 cents. Okay. And right now it's sitting at 0.077. So this thing hasn't actually doubled. Well, it did double recently, but it pulled back. So you know that if the market was to absolutely crash, you can lose less than 50% on your investment. And once again, a lot of these altcoins are up like 3-4x. So the potential downside is much further than something like Aethir here. Now, if we take a look at Trade Assist, we see that bullish momentum was fired quite a bit recently, but the last one was fired just a few days ago, December 12th, okay? And again, if you take a look back at the charts, it looks like this could be, it had a mini run, so 4 cents to about 6.5 cents. So this is actually technically considered the first leg up as well, just like P&G. So I think that the potential is here, and the charts look pretty solid, making higher highs and lower lows, which we love to see. And the run still hasn't really happened yet. So that's what we want to look at when we're deciding which coins to get into for the bull run. Now, the market cap for Aethir is just 441 million. And that is nothing compared to like where Render is. Render is at like, I think Render might be at like 7 billion or something like that, right? Let's take a look at Render here real quick and see where the market cap is. It's actually 4.5 billion. So it's still ways to get to Render, and entering a bull run, this can have a massive run up, in my opinion. Now, the last one here is going to be a little bit different. It's higher up on the market cap, and it's ran a little bit more than the previous two. But the reason why I like this one is because it's got hype, it's got gaming, and it's got AI. And I think all of those combined together is going to make for a really nice sizable run, this bull run for this coin right here. And I'm talking about Beam. The market cap is sitting at 1.54 billion. Why do I like Beam? Okay, well, first off, I want you guys to take a look at Axie Infinity, which is another gaming coin. Last bull run, this thing went up to about $10 billion, right? So Beam is about 10x, just under 10x away from Axie Infinity's previous highs. And I think that it can get there. Again, because it's got hype, because it's in the gaming / AI, and the market cap is low enough. Now, take a look at this here. So if we take a look at the charts, okay, what I mean by the risk reward isn't as great as the previous two, but I want you guys to really take a look at this. So not too long ago, they mentioned how they are entering in the AI space, okay, and they had some great partnerships. If you go over to their Twitter, you're going to see all of that, right? But after all these announcements, all these bullish news, they're entering the AI space, this thing went on a nice rally. And right now it's pulling back. And it's pulling back pretty nicely. This is actually a decent point to enter a dollar cost average start position if you want to get into this thing. But keep in mind, we know where the floor is. We know that the floor is just over 1 cent. So that is a 3x that it went up. Right? It actually went more because at its peak, it went up like a 4x, but it's pulled back just a little bit. Now, and this is why I say you need to do a dollar cost average start position. Don't go pouring all your money into a coin that's already ran a 3x. You put in maybe like 25% here. And then if it pulls back to about 2 cents, then you put in like another 50%. So first you start with 25%, you put in 50%, and then it pulls back a little bit more. You put in 25%, and then your position is fully established. But the reason why I decided to talk about Beam, even though it's rallied quite a bit, is because I think the potential is here, and we want to make sure that we're in some solid coins, and we can always chase these coins that's got less than $1 billion market cap. But once a coin reached that $1 billion market cap, it kind of tells you that the coin has been proven, like it has proven itself that it's capable to make such big moves in the market. So this is why Beam needs to be paid attention to, in my personal opinion, especially if you're bullish on gaming and AI. Now, before any of you go out there and just buy up these coins, know that you have to have a reason to be able to hold these coins once the dip starts to happen, if a dip ever happens on these coins. Because at the end of the day, you have to have conviction for yourself. Just because I have conviction and I believe in certain projects doesn't mean that you need to as well. Because that's the difference between a great crypto investor and just someone who's just straight up gambling. Do your own research, look into these coins, and if you think that it's legit and you like the entry price where it's currently sitting at, that's when you go out and you buy these coins. Look at the chart first. Always look at the charts before you start buying up these coins. If you don't look at the charts and you don't know how to read the charts, then you need to educate yourself a little bit more, or else you're going to find yourself in bad situations come this bull run where you're buying coins and you don't even know where you're buying it at, right? But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Check out a few of the links that I have down below. And until next time, take care.